Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing through Final Girls Season 2, the episode with USS Conrad and the Evomorph, or the Xenomorph for those of you that are Aliens fans. As I'm a big one, that's how I'm going to refer to it, as this is basically Aliens in a box, which is really cool. So with this one, I'm going to be playing through and trying to, as always, defeat the enemy. And with this one, it's a little more interesting with a little bit more of a cat and mouse kind of mechanic to it versus just the straight up kill your big bad. So with this one, there's a number of different things that you can do to handle that enemy without actually attacking it directly, which is really interesting. The big feature with this one are the key cards, and these are going to give you access to different points around the map, as well as giving you access to maintenance shafts, which will open up the map a little bit more and give you a little bit more mobility to help you avoid this particularly nasty enemy. So with the key cards, you can also access things like the Crusher or Incinerator, the Self-Destruct, and the Airlock, where you can suck your enemy out, hopefully, into space and eliminate them, winning the game. And of course, there's a couple other features to this one as well. So with this particular playthrough, I'm really going to try to focus more on getting into that search deck, hopefully finding those key cards and maybe some other equipment that might help me along the way, as well as maintaining my horde level to keep that down so that I get those extra dice to hopefully help me in the long run. So we'll see how this plan goes. As always, you never know until that first dice roll happens. So other than that, I do have a couple of questions for you watching to see where I want to go with this. So first off, with these videos, would you like me to continue making the playthrough videos covering each one of the different episodes in the season 2, or do you want to see some of the different videos where I mix it up, taking different locations and mixing it with different enemies? Let me know in the comments down below with that, if that is something you're interested in, or which way you would like me to go with that. I'm also thinking about doing a small teaching series on this one, covering each one of the individual episodes and just the new features or special rules with that episode. Hopefully looking at anywhere between like a 10 to 20 minute video per video, depending upon what is involved with that one. If that's something you're interested in as well, let me know in the comments down below, or give the video a thumbs up. That'll help me to decide whether or not this is something that might be beneficial for you out there. So as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow and be able to produce this content. If you want to get notifications anytime I drop new videos, also give that notification bell a ring, and that'll let you know whenever I drop new stuff, as I'm constantly dropping new playthroughs, teaching videos, unboxings, and Kickstarter crowdfunding coverage videos. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see how this one plays. Alright, so moving into the game, before getting into it, there's a couple of additional things to handle for setup. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and mix these up and choose one for each of us, the enemy and for me. And I'm going to be using Ellen in this one, so let's go with that one for Ellen. And let's do that one for the Xenomorph. Alright, the rest of these can be returned to the box. And then I have the item deck that I'm going to go ahead and create. So with this, I'm just going to randomly draw 4 cards out of it to eliminate, and then the rest will go out into the different locations. Okay. And Ellen does have a special ability, so I'm just going to place these off to the side, as I might be able to bring those in later on. So then from there, I'm going to make the 3 different locations, decks of cards. Oh, wow. So key cards right of the way. That's good. That's handy to have. All right. I also have a remote monitor. All right. So moving into it, the first thing is an event that I'm going to handle. So let's go ahead and slide these dice down here. And our event, for this one is Master Access. If any of the top cards of the item deck are face down, flip them face up, and take any item or key cards that are showing. If any of the top cards of the item deck are face down, flip them face up. Take any key card item cards that are showing. Wow, that is super helpful. I believe I can just take those right away then. That's really nice. So that'll give me 3 key cards right off the bat. And I still have a few out here, so that's really going to help me with some of the different things out there. So that was a huge help. All right, moving in at this point, I think I need to start working on focus. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and try for my first focus roll. I'm going to get 2 and 2 successes. Oh man, this game is starting off really well. That is terrifying. All right, so that's my first one. Let's go ahead and try another one. See how this works. All right, that's a little more like it. I'm going to go ahead and spend the weak attack and short rest to change that 4 into a success. That's going to drop it 1 more point, and it drops that by 1. So that's my second focus. And I'm going to go ahead and try to do a walk and see what happens with this. All right, I got 1 success. Lets me move 1 space. So I'm going to go ahead and move there. Or do I want to? I might just be better staying there. Either that or pulling him in there. It really doesn't matter. I think I'm just going to hold off. I'm gonna take that back and just hold on to these 2 and see what happens with that. Or I could spend them, get a couple extra points for next round. I think I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to go ahead and discard those for 2 extra points and see what happens with that. All right, so that's my action phase. And now we're moving into the planning phase. I have 9 points to work with. And so I'm going to take a search. I'm going to take a sprint. So that's 4. So that brings me down to 5. What else do I want? I'm going to take a distract. So that's going to drop me down to 2. And I think I'm going to take 2 close calls. Yeah, I think that will be a good start with that. All right, and these are all my 1-point action cards, so I'll drop those down there. All right, then we're on to the killer phase. So first off, it's going to move towards a victim. It's going to move its movement value of 1 and then attack. So it is 1, 2, pretty much 2 away from everybody. So I get to choose which way it goes. I think I'm going to send it up to the trash compactor. And then there's nothing there for it to attack. So then I'm going to draw a terror card. So toying with the prey. So if the xenomorph is a hatchling, which it is, discard and draw the next terror card. All right, that's not good. All right, so then we have Shadow Blitz. If the xenomorph is a hatchling, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, well, my terror deck is going to get down real quick here. It came out of the shadows. If the xenomorph is a hatchling, discard and draw the next. Come on, this is not good. All right, game over, man. Game over. If there are no victims on the board, discard this card and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, you're going to increase by 1. And then it's going to target the next victim. It's going to move, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it over here. It is going to eliminate that, which is going to bump it up and evolve it right away. So that will move it down. And then it says the damage increases normally now, and normally this is the only way for it to actually be able to do damage. And then it's going to switch that out, so that will mean that it's going to ambush right away, so it'll start using that deck instead. Well, I thought my luck was on my side. Apparently not. That was a rough enemy phase, a killer phase. All right, so panic phase, there is no one to panic at this point. So then we're into the upkeep phase. There's nothing to handle during that. So it is back over to my turn to start us out. So I'm going to, should probably try a distraction and see if I can get that top billing there. All right, I need 2 successes. Come on. That was terrible. All right, let's try that. Drop by 2 and re-roll both of these. Well, there's 1. There's 2 in the bridge and 1 in the escape pod. All right, so that would let me drop it by 1 and get 1 more. I'm going to go ahead and try that and re-roll this one and see if I can get a second one out of this. No. All right, so I'm going to have to stick with that. I'm just going to drop it by 1. It gives me 1 there. And all of those go away. I have a sprint and a search, so I might as well do the search next. 2 cards, or 2 dice. And I got 1 success, and that's cracked, so I'm going to roll that again. I got 2 successes, so I take the top 2 items. I get to choose 1, and then I place the other either on the top or on the bottom. All right, so I get 2 cards from the armory, and these are personal beacon. So this one says, once per action phase, you may trigger the following killer action. Move towards me. That could be pretty good. Or we have the thermal visor. Discard to ignore an ambush and a card and draw another card. Whenever an enemy enters your space, you may discard any 2 action cards to take an available guard card. Both of those are really good. I think the thermal visor might be the better one, though. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. This one can either go on top or bottom. I mean, that's pretty good, too. So I think I'm just going to leave that right on the top there. So that is my search card. It is going to drop me by 1 point there. And then I have a sprint. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and try to sprint. I got 1 success, which lets me move up to 2 spaces. I'm going to go ahead and spend a key card. I don't think that costs me anything. I think it's just to pick them up, the costs. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that here to open that up. And I'm going to go 1 here. And I'm going to take these 2 guys with me and end in the escape pod. That's going to rescue all 3 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 there. I will spend 1 here to get 2 back. And do I get 2 more or do I move? I think I'm going to go ahead and move. Okay. All right, not terrible. That is going to drop it by 1 for that. That is the end of my action phase. I'm out of cards. So at this point, I need to get over there to get the rest of those guys out of here. I am going to go ahead and buy a sprint. So that's 2. And I get all of my regular cards back. Might not be a bad idea to get a scan. I think I'll do that. So I'll buy 1 of those. That gives me 2 points left to work with. He's pretty weak right now, so I'm not super worried about the guard cards. I guess I'll just buy 2 more scan cards. Gives me a couple of cards that I can use to throw away if I need to. So I think that's good there. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's my max. So that's all I can do. Then these can go back out. So we've got the 2 close calls, distract, and the search and sprint. All right. That's the end of my turn. So then we're going to move over to the killer phase. So at this point with the killer phase, since he is ambushing, he is straight to the ambush deck. So this one says, move the bloodlust marker up to the up on the track to the next space on the evolve in the special effect column. Wow. Well, that really did not help. All right. So he just literally jumped all the way there. He kicks me back out of that because he passed that up. And this is going to move down. So now, upon evolving, max health, he's at 10. So he's going to bump his health up. So much for being a youngling. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more. There's 10. When the Xenomorph he recovers all his health, and then I reveal the Dark Power card and rotate the ambush deck. So this one is Razor Claws. When revealed, place the Xenomorph in the closest space to you without an X and remove all. So he's in there. Whenever the Xenomorph damages you, randomly discard one action card. Oh, man. That's nasty. And then this also gets flipped over to the adult side. Okay. Well, this could be a real quick game. And then he's going to become an adult. All right. That is the end of the killer phase. There's no panic phase, and there's nothing to handle during the upkeep phase. So we are back into it with my turn. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start with a focus so that I can hopefully get an extra die here. I got a 4 and a 2. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 of the scans to increase that to a 5 or 6. It's going to give me 1 success, which costs 1 there, and that will drop it by 1. All right, so now I'm at least throwing 3 dice. And let's go ahead and try to do a walk. See if I can get somewhere. All right, I have a 1 success, so it's going to let me move 1 space. I could go down here too. I think I'm okay for now. All right, let's go and try the sprint. And I got 2 successes. That's great. I can move up to 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Do I have? I do have another walk. So let's do that. There's 1, 2. And then I think I can pick that up by spending time as I move through it. Let me double check that. Okay, so it's ending my move into space like that. So I do not want to end there just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and move here to finish off that. That's sprint action. And I do not have a search card just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and try to do a walk and hopefully pick up or get 2 successes on this one to move 2 spaces. All right, so I got a 5, and those other 2... So I'm going to go ahead and do these 2, the weak attack and the short rest, to bump that other one up to 2. So that's going to cost me 1 there. Lets me move up to 2 spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and take those guys into there. That'll rescue those, and then I'm going to move back. So it's going to get me 2 more points there with that one. I'm already at max health, so I can't gain 1 there. And then I do pick up a search card. So that's good. All right, so that is going to clear her board and flip her over. All right. When successfully resolving a search action card, you may choose to freely look through all of the location's unused item cards instead of this space's item deck. All right, so I am in the mess hall right now. I think I will do that search action. I did get the 1 success. I think that is enough for now. I think I'm going to use her ability, so that's going to let me go through the unused items. So I have emergency access, move to an adjacent space through an inactive maintenance shaft. That could be really good. There's a key card. Ship's manifest. While at a orange location, discard the ship's manifest, if I can hold on to it here, to look through that space's item deck. Place the cards in any order you wish, leaving the top card face up. Okay, that's handy. And then during the action phase, you may move any key card on the board to either another maintenance shaft or a maintenance card. Oh man, both of those are really good. And there's a key card here. Well, I think I'm going to take the key card because that's pretty important. And then these will go off to the side, and there's a lot of good stuff there, so I might be diving back into that to help myself out there. All right, and I have a scan and a focus at this point. He's got a movement of 2, so he can't get to me. So there's no point in doing that, and I think I'm just going to hold on to these. So I have 3 points to spend during my planning phase. Not too good. So what do I want? And at this point, it might not be a bad idea to start getting some guard cards. Sprint is also going to be important. So that's 2. So I have 1 card left, so I'm going to go ahead and get a close call. All right, so then the rest of these can be distributed back out. So there's the 2 scans, focus, walk, sprint, wait, short, walk, and search. Okay. So not a whole bunch to do during this phase. All right, then the killer is going to activate. So first off, he's going to move 1, 2, and then there's nobody to attack. So then terror card, slippery. The killer can freely move through all maintenance shafts. Well, that's not good. All right, so I'm going to place that up there, and that gives him 2 extra hit points. So that gives him a ton of new mobility, so I got to be careful there. And that's pretty much all he can do, so it's back over to me as there's no panic and there is no upkeep phase. So at least he didn't raise that at all. So at this point, probably be good to sprint. Oh, I got to raise that back up. Unless there's anything else I want to do at this point. Bridge is self-destruct. I have 3. I need a couple more, so let's see what happens with that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a focus. See if I can get that down a little bit more. All right, I got 1, so it's going to drop it by 1, but it also drops that down. So that's good. All right. And I think I'm going to discard this scan card to get a point. I think I'm going to hold on to that. I think I'm just going to end there because at this point I think I really need to get some extra cards. It's not necessarily going to do me a bunch of good to try to move around too much. So I think I'm going to hold off there. So moving into the planning phase, I get my 5 cards back, and I have 6 points to spend. So I think getting a guard card is going to be beneficial at this point. And I think I will take another search card. So this gets me down to 2. What else do I want? Do I take another sprint? Or do I take another search? If I can get a couple more of those victims saved, that could be a big help. So I think I'm going to take another search. All right, so that's going to give me 0 left, and I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is the max I can have anyways, so that works out. On to the killer phase. The killer is going to move. He can move up to 2. So I'll move him down here, and he will kill that guy for his attack. And technically, you probably should go to the bridge because that is more. So I'm gonna have to go there. So that'll bump him up 1 more. That's gonna kick that up. That's why I got that extra focus there. All right, and then a terror card. All right, so we have, let's test the maintenance shafts. For this turn only, all enemies can freely move through the maintenance shafts. Well, he can already do that. He's going to move towards either the final girl or the victim that's closest. So they're both equal distance. Moves twice and then attacks. For each enemy that moved through the maintenance shaft this turn, so it's going to bump me back out of that, and he's going to go to me, and then he's going to attack. So I do have the guard. Or I could just take it. Hold on to that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to hold on to it, and I'll take the 2. So it might be beneficial at this point just to run on the 1 health and get the extra die. All right, that is his turn. So that is everything. So it's back over to me. And I do have a focus, so I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. See if we can bring that back down to green. Pair of 1s. Well, do I have? I think I do have that. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that. Let me roll the 2 dice over again. I spent the 2 for that. There it is. Okay. So I get 1 more, but that does drop it back into green. All right, so those will go away. Oop, I forgot to put those back out. Scan and a focus. All right, so now I'm rolling 3 dice. So let's go ahead and do... Might almost be worth doing the weak attack to get 1 extra die if I only get 1 success out of that. Could be helpful. And it's starting to get through to that slippery, which is problematic. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and risk it and see what happens here. I got the 1 success, so I'm going to lose the 1 health. He is going to take a damage. And that is that. All right, so now I'm going to get 4 dice out of this. All right, so I should hopefully be doing halfway decent here. All right, what do I want to do next? Now I need to get the heck out of here. So let's go ahead and sprint. See what happens. All right, there's 2 successes. Drops it by 1. Let's move up to 3 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I'll try it again. There's 1 that's cracked. All right. I do have a short rest and a walk. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that to get the 3. All right, so 1, 2, and 3 is the end there. All right, so that will get me 2 extra dudes for saving those. And there's only 1 person left out here. I'm going to do a walk. Pair of 6s. So I can move into 2 spaces. So I could just save him and be done with it. And basically just nullify the effects of the walk. Well, I think I'm going to have to go here, though, and have to stop, because if I go the other space, then I will not be able to move at all next turn, and that's going to be problematic as well. So I think I'm going to stop there, and I should probably do a search action. All right, I got 1 success. I can take the top card, that's remote monitor. Once per action phase, you may look at the top card of the terror or ambush deck and leave it in place at the bottom of the deck. Okay. I'm just going to drop that by 1, so I'm going to have nothing to be able to purchase next turn either. Well, this could be a quick game if things happen in certain order here. So I think I should probably take one of these instead. I could have moved into the furnace room. Ooh. You know what? I like that instead. Keeps me a little bit farther away, so I'm going to go ahead and take this action back. And I did have that 1 extra space to move, so I'm going to go ahead and move into the furnace room. And I'm going to spend 2 to activate it. So it will not affect me or victims following you. So that could be helpful. All right, that is it. So I have a search and a guard. I will get a focus back. I'm going to go ahead and take a close call. And I'll take a scan because that's all I can afford. And we'll see how that goes. All right, now I can put all this stuff back out. So focus, weak attack, sprint, short rest, walk, sprint, and walk. All right. Now it is over to the enemy's turn. You can move it to 3 spaces. Man. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then the incinerator is going to activate. Are you kidding me? No effect. Brutal. All right, so then it's going to attack me. Well, technically, I might hit him first because it is technically targeting him first. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that first because I can't guard against their attacks. And then the terror card is a gas leak. Roll a die. Is there anybody that is adjacent to a maintenance shaft at this point? There is not. Everybody is gone. So there's no point in rolling it. And we're not going to be affected by it, but there is a new event. Orphan Girl. The victim closest to you is now the Orphan Girl. While the Orphan Girl is in your space, +1 victims will follow you and may freely move through inactive maintenance shafts. If the Orphan Girl dies, 3 levels on that. So there is no victims. So I don't know if she would come out or not then. So I'm going to lean towards no because there are no victims out at this point. So it wouldn't make any sense for her to be coming out. Well, I mean, thematically it would because she was hiding, but I am going to go with no on that. All right, so it's over to my turn, and unfortunately, I have nothing. So it's basically just getting ready for this onslaught from him. I cannot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just spend the focus to increase my level by 1. I'm going to do the same thing with the scan, bump that up. I'm not going to be able to search. So I might just want to get ready for the big turn here. All right, I got 8 to buy. So I'm going to get these back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to only have 2 cards left. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the Retaliate for 4. Okay. All right. What else do I want to do? I'm going to go ahead and spend my other focus. Well, I don't know if I can do that or not. I have 4 buying power left. I think improvise at this point would be pretty helpful. So I think we're going to take that. All right. So that is going to wrap that up. So then it is into his turn, so he's going to go ahead and attack. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the Retaliate and see what happens here. I need 2 stars. Otherwise, this is not going to end well. And I got 2. All right. So I got what I needed. So I'm going to ignore all damage, and I do 2 damage to him, so that will take care of his slippery. and 1 point on that. These are going to go back, and that's going to go there. All right, so that takes care of his attack. And then we have the Terror card, so Shadow Blitz. If the Xenomorph is a hatchling, discard and draw the next Terror card. Otherwise, he's going to vanish. Or ambush, immediately draw the next ambush card. Well, okay. This one is place the Xenomorph in the closest space to without an X and remove all X's, and then he is going to attack. Well, that sucks. I guess it's a good thing I have the guard. All right, I need 2 stars. And I got 2 stars. Phew. All right, so I ignore all damage. All right, and that is it for that. That's going to go away. And Shadow Blitz goes away at the end of the round. So that is the end of the killer phase. So now we're into the panic phase. There's nothing there. So the upkeep phase, this is going to be revealed. So this one is going to have him attack, move, and attack. So he is going to be all over me. All right, so this is a big round. And I don't think I have a lot of movement, do I? I have a walk, close call, improvise, search, focus. Okay. So I could cut through there. So at least I got rid of his ability to go through the maintenance shafts. So that's a plus. And I have 2 there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with improvise. That's going to help me tremendously if I can get this to go off properly. All right, so I got 1 success, and I got those, so I need to make that happen. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a focus and a short rest. All right, so that's going to give me the 2 successes I need. And that will make, until this action phase ends, all 3s and 4s are successes as well. So that will hopefully mean that I'm going to be passing a lot more stuff here. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with a walk. And I got 3 successes. So it's going to drop that down 1, and that lets me move 2 spaces. All right, well, I might as well do a search. The armory still does have a couple cards in it. And all successes. So I can look at the top cards. So I have the personal beacon or the vibro claw. It's a one-handed item, does 1 damage. Whenever you successfully reduce damage from an attack with a retaliate or with a reaction card, deal +1 damage to your attacker. Well, that could be very helpful. I can slowly chip away at him, so I think I'm going to take that. All right, so that will go away. And then weak attack, close call. I'm going to do a walk. There's the 2. So the turn that I get that, I don't actually need it. All right, so I'm going to go 1 there. I'm going to spend this as well to go here. All right, so I'm as far away from him as I possibly can be. I did 2 walks, so it's going to cost me 3 total. I keep forgetting to do that. All right, so that is everything. So now I'm into my buying or my planning phase. So I'm going to go ahead and get a guard for sure. And I want to do the close call. I will get the focus back. That's going to take care of all that. So then it is retaliate, guard, short rest, focus, walk, search, and walk. All right. So from there, this is also going to go away. So that's all of that. All right, so then he's going to go ahead and move twice. He's going to move 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So he's going to get 1 attack on me. I got 1 success out of that. I do have a weak attack and a focus. So I'm going to go ahead and spend both of those to convert that. And then because of that, I do, whenever you successfully reduce damage from an attack with a reaction card, that's in a reaction card, I deal +1 damage to your attacker. So if anything, I'll just slowly chip away at him, I guess. All right, so that's those. And that is his turn. Whatever the 0 damages you, so he did not damage me. Okay, so he did not damage me, so I do not have to discard any cards. Which next turn is going to get ugly here. All right, so I have no movement cards. So he's just going to sit there and really create all kinds of havoc on me. All right. So that is the end of his phase. And there's no panic phase and there's no upkeep. So we're right back into my phase. And I have 2 close calls, so there's nothing I can do with those. So I'm going to move right into my planning phase. I get the 2 walks, the short rests, and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the guard and the retaliate, because I pretty much have to have those. And we'll see what happens with that. All right, so then these are going to go back out. Weak, attack, and focus. All right, so that is back into his phase now. So he's going to attack me first off. So I'm going to start off with my guard. I basically have to have 2 on these. All right, I got 1 success. That is a cracked die, so I'm going to roll that again. All right, so that was a fail. All right, so I'm going to have to convert this one. So I'll spend the focus and the short rest. All right, so that will let me ignore all damage, and I'm going to do 1 to him with that. And then I do have retaliate for the second one. I got 1 success out of that, so I have to convert the other one. So I'm going to try to reroll 1. All right, I'm going to spend these 2 to convert 1 to success. So that's going to let me ignore all damage. And I'm going to do 3 damage in return from that one. And I don't know if I do 1 from that or not as well. But I'm not, well, I'm retaliating. See, I'm not sure on that. But I'm going to go ahead and let it go. All right. That is his turn. So we're just going to sit there and duke it out. This is a massive punch fest here. Okay. That is his turn. So there's no panic phase and there's no upkeep phase. So it goes right back into my turn. I have a walk. Which I think I just pretty much have to hold on to it. I mean, at this point, it's just trying to outlast him. So I'm slowly ticking him down here. these have been super helpful. I have nothing else, I think, at this point. So, yeah, I'm just going to hold and purchase. So I'm going to get my weak attack and focus back. I'm going to buy the guard for 2. And it gives me 4 points to spend. I'm going to buy 2 scans. And brings me down to 2. And I'll buy a sprint just in case. All right, these are going to go back out. So I have a short rest, focus. There's the guard. Walk, 2 close calls, and the retaliate. All right, so we'll see what happens with this. All right, so I have the 2 sprints that I can use to convert 1. I might be burning through all of this just to try to make this work here. All right, and one of these has to get through. All right. Yeah, because I got nothing else, so now we're back up here. All right, so then it kicks back into his turn, so his first attack, I'm going to go ahead and use that one. All right, I need 2 successes on this. All right, there's 1. There's that. Weak attack, focus. All right, so I'm going to spend those 2. Convert the second one to a success. I'm going to ignore all damage. And I do 1 to him from that. And that'll go away. As my second part of that, he's going to attack me. I'm going to go ahead and spend the 2 scan cards. This lets me do this one. So whenever an enemy enters your space, oh man, you may discard 2 action cards to take an available guard card. He did not enter my space. He's already in my space. Well, that did not work in my favor. So I should have read that a little bit more closely. I did have the 1 walk card last turn. Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to go back a little bit here. I know I'm not technically cheating, but let's go ahead and see what happens here. All right, so I had been able to move 1 space, so I will move into the trash compactor. So then during his first thing when he moves, I'm going to go ahead and spend the 2 to get this. So it's still going to leave me hanging here pretty heavily. So the 2 scan cards will go up top. And the walk card should have been going down here because it would have spent, yeah. All right, so then I'm going to do that. And I got 1 out of it. And I only have 1 card left, so I have no ability to reroll anything. So this could be it anyways here. All right, so I can reduce the damage by 2. I take 1 damage, which is going to kill me. Oh, man, so close. And let's see if he would have had it. He would not have, so he would have taken 1 there. And if I could have made it 1 more turn, so if I would have gotten 1 more success here, I would have had enough. And then I would have moved into that phase where I could have bought the retaliate to get him. Well, I got punched into a corner and things just didn't work out in my favor. That last dice roll could have been huge if I would have gotten that. I know I took a couple steps back as I had the items that I needed. I just wasn't paying attention to the wording on that, so I should have looked that over. And that's the key right there, is make sure you look at your items before you jump into that next turn, because that wording on there was enough to get me. But either way, it ended up not going in my favor, but it was a great game, and it really came down to the wire. 1 more turn. If I would have gotten that star, that would have been enough. I would have been able to buy the retaliate, and I had a couple extra cards to bump that up if I would have rolled a little bit poorly on the dice. So I think I would have been able to get him on that first attack between the Viper Blade and the Retaliate. Even just getting the couple damage points and then knowing that he was going to, die at the end there, I would have been able to get him. So super close. It was such an exciting, fun game. Let me know in the comments down below if you caught anything else, if I did anything else wrong. These ones, there's a lot of little rules with these, so I tried my best on that. Or if there was a different strategy you saw, if there was something that I could have done a little bit differently that might have changed things in my favor and given me the game, let me know in those comments below. I love hearing from you and starting a conversation, and let me know on the other things as well if you would like to see those other types of videos. I love hearing from you, and we'll see what we can do with that. So until next time, I'll see you later.